Okay, so late last night, the news you are well aware of by now, late last night, Joe Biden, kind of odd to do it on a Sunday, decided to go out and pardon his son. Now, let's get past all the things you already know, the things you've already heard all day long. Yes, I am aware he said repeatedly that he wasn't going to. He was always out there saying things like this.
As we sit here in Normandy, your son Hunter is on trial, and I know that you cannot speak about an ongoing federal prosecution. But let me ask you, will you accept the jury's outcome, their verdict, no matter what it is?
Yes.
And have you ruled out a pardon for your son?
Yes.
Okay. And I could sit here and play you the things you've seen all day long, the montages of Joe saying I won't and the media saying he won't. Let's get past all that. You already know all that. Joe Biden lied and said he wasn't going to pardon his son. I'm going to tell you why this pardon is a good thing in a few minutes. Just hang with me. But first of all, let's cover this. Let's cover this. Joe Biden is a liar and has always been a liar. And as I used to say repeatedly back when he was still pretending to be the president of the United States of America, Joe Biden is, as amazing as this is, the biggest liar in the history of the United States presidency. No other president, Republican or Democrat, has come close. And I say this as someone who knows all politicians lie, all presidents lie. They all do. They will shade the truth and manipulate this. Joe Biden, for his entire career, has not shaded the truth. He's one of these sociopaths. You've probably known one or two in your life. A complete sociopath. I used to work with a guy who lied all the time, and they used to say about him that he would rather climb up the tree to tell a lie than stand on the ground and tell the truth. That's Joe Biden. He didn't shade the truth. He has repeatedly told these gigantic, easily verifiable lies, and he does so with a straight face. There's video going back decades of Joe Biden saying, I was the top of my law school. And then, of course, that's easy to verify. Everyone can just look at the papers. You weren't even close to the top of the law school. He said he taught the Second Amendment in college as a professor. He never taught a single class as a professor. He said he had a football scholarship. He said Beau Biden has died in every war from World War II to Korea to the war in Iraq. Joe Biden tells gigantic, verifiable lies because Joe Biden is a sociopath, a criminal, and a scumbag, and has done so many times throughout history that if Joe Biden told me water was wet, I would just naturally assume it became dry. Joe Biden is a liar. So, like you, I never believed this anyway. So let's get past all that. Let's first of all address why this is, in a way, a good thing. You see, on a little level, which we'll get to, it's a father pardoning his son. We'll talk about why in a moment. But on a macro level, this is obviously bad for the country. It is. The country as a whole, if you zoom out 30,000-foot view and you look, it's terrible. It's terrible for the country. Americans, Republican and Democrat, and everybody in the middle woke up today and saw the news if they didn't see it last night, and virtually every single one of them, unless you're a paid Democrat, and I realize there are many of those in the media and otherwise, but unless you're a paid communist hack, everybody looked at this news and thought, well, that's completely corrupt. Wait, that's wrong? Hold on, he gave him a blanket pardon for the span of like 11 years? That's awful. Even Democrats like Michael Bennet. Michael Bennett's a Democrat senator, came out and said, this looks bad. Okay, so everyone woke up. Everybody. Normies, Democrats, Republicans woke up today and thought, that looks bad. It's kind of icky. So why would this in any way be a good thing? Well, remember, legitimacy. Legitimacy. The faith you give, the faith the citizen gives to corrupt evil institutions. That is the power. That is the juice those institutions use to hurt you. You see, if you have faith in the FBI, if you're still one of these losers out there, the great men and women at the FBI, you're actually committing an act of evil because you're legitimizing evil and you're enabling evil. So it's really important that you don't give them legitimacy. It's more important that people wake up and realize the FBI is evil. We'll get to the Kash Patel talk in a little bit. So back to Joe Biden. The Democrat Party is evil. They're run by corrupt, evil communists now. And while that may have been very obvious to you, because you watch this show on a regular basis, I'm sure you read things, watch things, listen to things, for many, many, many normal Americans, they haven't completely gotten to that realization yet. And while I don't celebrate that the Democrat Party is now completely evil, it is a good thing if the American people wake up today and realize that. It robs these evil people, this evil regime, of legitimacy. So now, the next time they get up behind the podium and tell a lie, which they will do, they lie as easy as they breathe, the lies simply won't have enough legs because they've lost more and more legitimacy. In a way, a weird, twisted way, I'm almost kind of happy that Joe Biden pardoned Hunter. I'm not surprised by it in the least. Told you this was coming. Everyone knew this was coming. Not surprised by it in the least. And now the American people are waking up to the fact that these people are evil. They lie about everything, and laws never apply to them. They don't think they should apply to them. Now, back to the laws. Why did Joe Biden do this? Why did Joe Biden pardon his son? Well, remember that old video? Joe Biden, we played it for you a bunch on this show, but Joe Biden, it's almost bizarre. Really, these politicians try to keep their corruption hidden, but Joe Biden, on camera, in a room full of people, stood up and bragged about having a prosecutor fired?
I had gotten a commitment from Poroshenko and from Yatsenyuk that they would take action against the state prosecutor, and they didn't. So they said they were walking out to press conference. I said, no, I said, we're not going to give you the $1 billion. They said, you have no authority. You're not the president. The president said. I said, call him. I said, I'm telling you, you're not getting the $1 billion. I said, you're not getting the $1 billion. I'm going to be leaving here. And I think it was, 6 hours? I said, I'm leaving in 6 hours. If the prosecutor's not fired, you're not getting the money. Well, son of a bitch. Got fired.
You see, this pardon is a blanket pardon and a backdated pardon. Why did Joe Biden want that prosecutor fired so badly? Because that prosecutor was investigating a company, maybe you've heard of it, it's called Burisma. Burisma, that's the company, the Ukrainian company, that hired Hunter Biden to sit on its board. $80,000+ a month. Why would a foreign energy company hire Hunter Biden to sit on its board when Hunter Biden himself has no energy experience whatsoever to speak of? Well, everyone knows. We don't have to sugarcoat it. They hired him because Joe Biden was delivering something to these people. You don't just pay $83,000 a month to Hunter Biden so he can snort lines of coke off your secretary. You hire Hunter Biden so you'll have access to then Vice President Joe Biden. You see, Joe Biden is a criminal. He comes from an entire criminal family. The reason you backdate this pardon and deliver such a blanket pardon is not because you're a loving father to your dirtball crackhead son. You give this pardon out because your son knows where all the bodies are buried. And a dirtball like Hunter Biden is not going to go away to federal prison for 10, 15 years without speaking up. You hand your son a pardon, not because he's your boy, but because he's your criminal accomplice, you see. And this comes back to what I was talking about earlier. In a weird, twisted way, I'm glad he did it. Because these people are evil, they're liars, they're criminals, they're corrupt. And you already knew that. You knew that yesterday, right? You knew that yesterday morning before the Hunter Biden pardon came down. You already knew that. But we're not worried about you. We're worried about your normie neighbor who still says things like, the great men and women at the FBI. Your normie neighbor needs to wake up and realize the United States government is an evil, criminal, corrupt organization. And when we wake up and find out Joe Biden backdated an 11-year pardon for his scumbag son, it helps your normie neighbor realize that fact. And in a weird way, That helps us, and it's a good thing. All that may have made you uncomfortable, but I am right. I would thank you for coming to my YouTube channel, but I know how brilliant it is, and I know you love it here. So subscribe and watch. We're going to start really ramping things up and putting some funny stuff, some interesting stuff out there, some collaborations. Either way, my YouTube channel is officially the place to be. So stick around.